evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Evelyn Auditorium. Music is back here. My name is Cam Jason, and I will be your announcer this evening. This concert is presented by the Mesabi Community Band and is called a Spring Renewal Concert. At the close of this concert, we will be taking a free will offering with all proceeds sent for the benefit of Ukrainian refugees in Poland, who, by the way, are looking for their own renewal. Now, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome our first conductor, Maestro Larry Baker. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as you are able, please stand to honor our country as the band plays our national anthem. And ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing, for after our anthem, we will play the Ukrainian national anthem. Well, a second welcome to all of you. band got started again right after the first of the year, thanks to our two conductors. And we're very pleased to be back doing music in the area. This is a wonderful facility. We are very grateful to the City of Eveleth, to your mayor, your councilors, and to your city administrators. They are kind to let the band use this facility for their rehearsals, as well as this fine facility for this beautiful concert tonight. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the band's first selection will be Americans We by Henry Fillmore. This march is particularly appropriate today, since Fillmore in 1929 published this piece and dedicated it to all of us, regardless of color, ethnicity, or politics. Ladies and gentlemen, Americans We. The band's next number is Procession of the Nobles by Nicholas Rimsky-Korsakov. Procession of the Nobles depicts the formal entrance of local nobility into a lavish reception. During the season of 1869 to 1870, the director of the Imperial Theater of St. Petersburg, Russia, conceived the idea of staging an elaborate opera ballet based on the subject from Slavic mythology. for this work to be known as Mulata. He commissioned music from the Russian School of Composition. Although the project was never realized, 20 years later, Rimsky-Korsakov decided to use the subject for an opera ballet of his own. His Mulata was begun in 1889 and produced at the Mariinsky Theater in 1892. Ladies and gentlemen, Procession of the Nobles. Wow, was that great? A few of you folks might remember the days when you bought a car, you had to order it. Well, that's nowadays too. But you also had to order all of the accessories. The next number is called The Klaxon. It was written by Henry Fillmore, and he wrote it in 1930. And I'm going to read you a little bit about the history of this particular thing. The Great American love affair with the automobile really began to heat up in the 1920s, when the family car drew us to all the different roads. An old French word with a new small rectangular building, the garage, became part of life long before the phrase standard equipment. The buyer of a new car had to add items such as a loud horn that worked when needed. It was called a klaxon. Henry Fillmore obviously kept all avenues to the public very wide open and functioning. When his band played at the Cincinnati Automobile Show in January 1930, he seized the opportunity to introduce a new march that was most appropriate to the occasion, the klaxon. Not content simply to play a new march named for an automobile horn, Fillmore dressed up the performance with another first, the introduction of a new instrument, the klaxophone. A brace of the noisy klaxons tuned to play along with the band. Ladies and gentlemen, the klaxon. Ladies and gentlemen, the band's next number is called Yorkshire Ballad by James Barnes. Barnes is a living American composer. He notes that Yorkshire Ballad is not a folk song, but is written in that style. And he also says it was written for younger players, and as you can see, that's the case. Hey band, we'll show this guy, right? He states that he wrote it while thinking of the beautiful green landscapes of northern England, Yorkshire, if you will, and that he and his wife loved while visiting there. Ladies and gentlemen, Yorkshire Ballad. On February 3rd, 1943, the SS Dorchester, an American troops transport, sank in the icy waters off the coast of Greenland, the victim of a German U-boat. Of the 904 men aboard, 605 were lost. Among those who perished were 4 Army chaplains, each of a different faith, each called to the same duty. They were George Fox, Methodist minister; Alexander Good, Jewish rabbi; John Washington, Catholic priest; and Clark Poling, Dutch Reformed minister. The testimony of the survivors tells the story best. As overcrowded lifeboats capsized, as rafts drifted away empty and men milled around on deck, on the ragged edge of panic, the only fragment of hope came from these 4 men. And when the life jackets were gone, they gave away their own. As the survivors swam away, they remember the chaplain standing, their arms linked, braced against the slanting deck. They were praying words of prayer in Latin, Hebrew, and English, addressed to the same God. Said John Ladd, one of the survivors, "It was the finest thing I have ever seen or hope to see this side of heaven." By the vote of Congress on January 18, 1961, a special medal of heroism, the only one ever given, was posthumously awarded to the 4 chaplains. February 3rd became 4 Chaplains Observance Day, and in 1951, the Chapel of the 4 Chaplains, an interfaith shrine, was dedicated in Philadelphia with President Harry S. Truman in attendance and Daniel A. Poling, Clark's father, presiding. Nearly half a century later, the legend of the 4 chaplains speaks to something deep in our hearts. For Father Washington didn't call out for a Catholic when he handed over his life jacket, nor Rabbi Good for a Jew. He gave them to the next soldier in line, and then stood shoulder to shoulder, arm in arm, in mutually supporting faith. This is the ideal of brotherhood. This is what we all want in America. This is what the 4 chaplains gave us. And as a side note, one of the 4 chaplains' sister was an Iron Range resident, right from this area. Ladies and gentlemen, The Light Eternal by James Turner. May God bless the four chaplains who are all in heaven, I'm sure. In the audience tonight, do we have any World War II veterans? We've lost a lot. None in our audience. For those that are able, would the veterans in the audience stand? This song is special to us that are veterans of the military service. Please stand. No military veterans at all? One right here. Too timid to stand. God bless you, brother. There's another one there. God bless you too. Our conductor is already standing. He's a Marine Corps veteran. Ladies and gentlemen, to conclude this half of our program, the band will play the Chimes of Liberty March by Edwin Goldman. Ladies and gentlemen, while we wait for our next conductor, I would like to tell you